Hello there. This is going to be a fairly short one today, and yeah, I have to admit we are living in very dangerous times. Not that anything absolutely catastrophic has happened yet, but there's definitely tremendous potential for something catastrophic to happen. And I highlighted four issues in my notes about what I was going to say. So the first item is basically technology, really. AI. I mean, that looks like it could have tremendous impact on human society. Apart from taking people's jobs, which is very likely to happen in the next couple of years, I think it will encourage people not to use their own initiative to a large extent. You know, people have argued that, researchers and such like they'll save a lot of time. Instead of having to go and look through all these hundreds of books, they can just ask the AI to do that bit for them, go and find information, which they can then use and, comment on, regurgitate and analyze themselves. Which all sounds fair enough, that sounds grand, but we all know that basically instead of the Google search type thing where you look something up, you just ask the AI, hey, why do I do this? What's this? Please explain this. And the AI will just go off in seconds and do it. And you don't have to actually do any real thinking. And I think for the majority of people, that's where this is going. It will just lead to mental laziness. Another area that's of significance is digital ID, which is in the process of being rolled out. I mean, it's been attempted in the past, attempts during the COVID crisis, and sort of attempts before that in various nations have all sort of come under scrutiny and been sort of somewhat difficult. Well, I think in Sweden they managed to introduce RFID for a huge percentage of the population. And some people don't have any problem with this, but I do think this will very much lead to sort of Orwellian future, especially when it's tied in with central bank digital currencies and digital wallet. So all aspects of your life can be observed. The smart house or the smart devices, links to your bank accounts, to everything that you do through your digital ID will mean effectively, if you are a dissenter, someone who is sort of maybe on the fringes of sort of modern society, someone even like me who makes comments and derogatory statements about governance and the state of the world, could be just shut down just like that. Bang, switch off your everything, and your ability to function in the modern world would be just eviscerated. So that's a real concern. That's a very dangerous thing, I think. I think people are not really even thinking about this enough, about the implications. I would suggest to people go and read Brave New World and 1984 if you don't understand what any of these issues are about. And obviously another existential crisis would be wars, far more than AI, which is unlikely to just wipe people out, at least not in the near future. You've got Ukraine. The Iran situation seems to be on pause, but of course the Gaza campaign continues apace. There's sort of been recent attacks on Lebanon, I think, on Hezbollah. There's been some exchanges between Yemen and Israel, and supposedly, although it's not confirmed, another attack on an Iranian site by the Israelis. So this could all just kick off again. The Ukraine situation seems to be intensifying, with Russia attempting to bring this to a close as quickly as possible. And there's always the China-Taiwan situation, with America looking to sort of marginalize China to a large extent. It's very much a trade war right now, but this could turn into a hot war very quickly, especially if the USA decides to send more missiles and armaments to Taiwan. It's possible that China might just decide to go in there. and then who knows what would happen. One should note that Taiwan, if you look on a passport, it says the Republic of China on it. It is actually part of China, always has been in the last few hundred years anyway. So, people saying, oh, Taiwan is not anything to do with China, they're just liars, right? You just go and look at a Taiwanese passport, see what it says, Anyway, the third item that came to mind is the economic meltdown, which was in progress. I mean, because of the debt situation across the world, with public debt being so enormous, it was inevitable that some kind of repeat of 2008 will happen eventually. But I think this is all being exacerbated by the tariff war, which obviously President Trump in America has sort of unleashed this sort of new wave of economic warfare, and this may accelerate any kind of economic disaster that's likely to happen. I would say there will be enormous trade difficulties in the future, and already I've heard comments and opinions about availability of certain items because of sort of trade embargoes, extremely high tariffs, customs charges, etc., and sort of protectionism that's starting to happen, which could mean that certain items from some countries will just be unavailable in different areas around the world, which doesn't sound great. And usually economic warfare of this kind means everybody suffers. It's more a matter of who's going to suffer the least is the winner. It's like having a fight. In a boxing match, everybody gets hit. It's not as if one person usually takes all the punches. They're going both directions. So both opponents or multiple opponents will take damage, which of course will damage ordinary people the most of all, not the captains of industry and the politicians and all the super rich. They'll probably be fine. Of course, there's other problems. The fourth item I'm highlighting now is social and religious conflict. There seems to be an extremely tense atmosphere around a whole bunch of social issues to do with religious freedoms, immigration, sort of jobs, and the economic effect of immigration. There's also a lot of conflict, it would seem, not necessarily open conflict as in like warfare, but sort of disagreements and violent arguments between people over various social issues to do with gender, economic philosophies, colonialism, race, you name it. There's so many things that really are potential sort of hot potatoes that if you want to have a conversation with a stranger and you don't know what their beliefs are and what their opinions are, it's probably best to stick to the weather, because you could easily upset somebody without intending to. So I think social interactions are becoming more fraught as well between a lot of people. So that's four real areas where I can see like potential for great difficulties and conflict. I mean, there's not a whole lot really we can do about it. We can't sort of change everything on a global level. I suppose all you can do is try to be reasonable, try to be empathetic, kind towards other people, and understanding, and sort of try not to blow fuse. Try to sort of have conversations with people and listen to them, instead of sort of trying to ram your opinions down their throat or getting very angry if they say something that you don't like. I think a lot of this is engineered. You could say it's sort of some form of social engineering, or sort of the application of the divide and conquer rule. while we're all busy fighting each other and arguing and disagreeing, important people carry on rolling their agendas and carrying on with whatever plans they've got. So I think a lot of our social problems result from not paying attention to some of the finer details of what is going on in governance and the corporate world, while we all argue over, what's in the newspapers or what somebody said about X, Y, and Z. And it's perhaps just a big distraction from wider issues of how life on this planet is run and who's in charge and what their plans are and whether we get any say in that or not. So anyway, that's all I have to say for the moment. Just a short one without any bells and whistles this time. And I guess we just have to keep an eye on these things and see how it unfolds and try to stay positive. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked what I have to say, please hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe and leave a comment if you like too. Thanks, that's it for now. Bye bye.